Hey, good morning. Happy Thirsty Thursday. Rise and shine. Get your favorite morning beverage and let's put some down. I had a nuke mine today. I got up this morning and I was watching the news and I wasn't paying attention to my coffee and it got cold on me. So I had to put it in the microwave and nuke it. Just doesn't taste quite the same once it's nuked, you know? It's alright, but I had a good day yesterday. Went to see my therapist, Susan, and we did all kind of video games and stories. I did okay. The first story wasn't all that good. Of course, I wasn't interested in it. It was about the pyramids, on how they're built, and the contractors and architects that built them, and how big the opening is, and what animals on the front of the main pyramid. I got to know, she read this story to me, about 2 paragraphs long. And she said, okay, now I'm finished. And then she starts asking the questions. How many blocks, and the angles, and the entrance in, and got to know all this detail. Well, I got the first 2 questions wrong. Out of, I don't know, maybe 8. So, then the second story that she read, and I wanted to stop her right in the middle of it and say, hey, look, it is a conflict of interest. But I figured, nah, I'm going to ace this one. So I let her go. It was a story on how printing ink was originally made. That's my life. I grew up back in the 70s. My dad, God rest his soul, him and his father, they were printers years and years and years ago. Many years ago, for an outfit out in, I think it started in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I think. They were called Mill Print. And my dad was transferred to Downingtown to open up a new plant there with a gentleman by the name of Ray Kaminsky, I think. Yeah, Ray Kaminsky. So ink it's in my blood. There's ink in this, and here where the blood is, but then over here, there's musical notes. So it swirls around. And I'm babbling on so you can enjoy your coffee, all right? But yeah, I aced that one. She read the story on it, and then she asked, 8, maybe 10 questions. But before she did ask, I said, Susan, I got to tell you right now, there's a conflict of interest. She goes, why is that, Ralph? And she knows, right? I said, I'm a printer by trade. She goes, I know that. And you're interested in printing. So I want to see if you retained this information. And sure enough, I did. She said, well, that's just it. The first story on the pyramids, you're not all that interested. So you didn't do all that well. But now, something that you're interested in, you listened to it, and you aced it. So that makes up all the difference in the world for memory retention. So I learned a little bit. I learned something new from this therapist every week when I go to see her. She's quite the young lady. She's a nice lady. She really is. And she loves to cook, and we just talk about cooking and recipes. And matter of fact, a recipe, before I forget. Take your, what do you call them? The Pillsbury, the ones that you roll up, that are like in a triangle, and you roll them up, and then you put them in the oven. You guys and gals will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, whatever it's called. She said, what you want to do? Unroll them, on a cookie sheet or whatever. And instead of just rolling them up and sticking them in the oven to raise and to bake and whatever, she goes, when you have them unrolled, and it's put up by Pillsbury and probably other companies too. She says, take some garlic powder and some garlic salt and lightly sprinkle it, and then roll it up. That's almost like a garlic knot. So I got to try that. So there's an easy recipe for you, if you want to do it. That's all I have on that one. Probably some other ones, but I don't remember right now. So cheers. Put down some coffee. But what else can I tell you? As I'm wasting time here so you can enjoy your coffee with me. And thank you for having me in your house. Or in your office, wherever it might be. Or on the commuter train or bus, whatever. You got your earbuds in. Let me see what else I can tell you. Well, I was watching the news this morning, and they're talking about Valentine's Day. Unbelievable, all right? The average for Valentine's Day, and I told Carol, and, if I didn't have Carol and I had a girlfriend out there, I would say, don't do it. Don't waste your money. Number one, I can't remember the last time I took Carol out for Valentine's Day. And like Mother's Day, forget that. You take your young lady out to get something to eat, and sure, you're spending time with them, and you're doing this for them. I get it. But, Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, these restaurants are hustling and bustling. We're like cattle. So the food is not going to be it's going to be good, but they want you in and out. It's all about turnover. Don't go out on those holidays. Father's Day, forget that, just don't do it. If you want to say, hey, honey, I appreciate you, come on, I want to take you out. Take your date out, your female friend, your male friend, whatever it might be, your husband, your wife, on a regular day, and go and enjoy the meal. Don't go out on a special day. They're all fabricated holidays, especially Valentine's Day. That was basically made up years and years ago, my opinion, for the Hallmark Corporation. All right, how to sell more greeting cards? Forget it. Don't do it. Just my opinion. But anyway, getting off track. I was watching the news here, and on an average, a female to take their lover out, male or female, whatever it might be, on average, for Valentine's Day, will spend upwards, on average, $399 for Valentine's Day. Are you kidding me? Forget that. Don't do that. I would go nuts if Carol or if you were my squeeze and said, come on, we're going to go out and spend $399 on me. Forget that. Save it. I'd enjoy for a spring day or a summer day, take me down to Wildwood or Cape May. Get me a good pizza down there or get me a flounder platter. And the average spending of a guy taking his lover out on Valentine's Day, I think it was like $49 on an average. So you want to talk about a difference of money? Come on, ladies. Average $399. Don't do it. Save it. You got more important things to spend that money on. Christ, you might have a child at home. Instead of taking your husband out or your lover out for $399 on average, save that for your child at home, or take the family out and enjoy the day together. That's my rant for today. Birthdays today, Chris Rock, all right? You all know Chris Rock, the stand-up comedian. He's 53 today. And Ashton Kutcher, all right? He is 40 years old today, and he's a very intelligent man. He really is, good actor, but he's very, very intelligent. He's kind of like the Chris Christopher, you know what I mean. My slurring is starting here. Oh, and I talked to Susan about that. She said, Ralph, what you got to do, You got to get up in the morning, give yourself some time, have your coffee, wake up, and then do your video. Because I told her that I slur in the morning sometimes. And she said, that's how you got to do it. And I didn't do it this morning. So, and then we started talking. I said, Susan, I'm going to ask you a question. Excuse me. She said, sure, what is it? I said, you told me you had a stroke or a heart attack, didn't you? She goes, no, I never had one. I said, oh, I thought you did. She goes, no, I didn't. I said, well, I'm going to ask you anyway. She goes, go ahead, Ralph, ask me. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. All right? I said, I get very fatigued from, on an average, let's say 3 o'clock to 4:30, maybe 5 o'clock. She goes, yes, you will. That's what happens to most stroke victims. You just got to take a rest. And I've said this before, but in different terminology, okay? She said, did I ever tell you the story about the Cadillac? I said, no, not me. I said, Susan, you got hundreds of patients that you talk to, weekly, daily, but it wasn't me that you told the Cadillac story to. She goes, good. Let me tell you the Cadillac story. She goes, consider yourself a Cadillac. You are a Cadillac, Ralph. I said, okay. And you're an 8-cylinder Cadillac. I said, okay. She goes, now, you had a stroke. So, out of those 8 cylinders of that Cadillac, you could go from point A to point B, vroom, right there. You could speed there and get there. At 50 miles an hour, you're right there. She goes, now, you had the stroke, so instead of being an 8-cylinder Cadillac, you are now a 6-cylinder Cadillac. She goes, you will get there at 50 miles an hour, but it'll take you a little bit longer than what you were when you had 8 cylinders. You'll do 50 miles an hour with 6 cylinders, but it's quicker when you have 8. And that's where your brain's at right now. It'll take you time. And the reason you get tired when you're driving, because I brought that up too. She said, you're focused on what you have to do. You're driving. And you're focused on driving. She says, so that all that works in your brain. You're watching the cars, you're watching the red light, you're watching this one that's passing, this one that's coming towards you. This is all commuting or computing in your brain. She goes, so it's going to wear you down quicker. So that's why you're a 6-cylinder now instead of an 8-cylinder. She goes, eventually you might be an 8-cylinder again. But only 90% of the stroke victims, on an average, get to be an 8-cylinder again. So, will I ever be? Who knows? Maybe I'll just be a little old, fuddy-duddy 6-cylinder. And I'm okay with it, but, I just get tired, and I got to lay down, and there's times I'll lay down and think that, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a nap, and I can't fall asleep. I'll be sitting there, and I'll be, like, nodding, and I'll say, Carol, I got to go lay down. And she's finally understanding that. In the beginning, she didn't understand it. And I go, I'll lay down on the sofa. I'll have the TV on, naturally. And I'll lay down thinking that, okay, I'm going to just nod off. Get a power nap, as they call it. I can't fall asleep. But just that laying down and relaxing for maybe 40 minutes, it's like I'm getting my second wind. And then I'm up and I'm ready to go again, even though I'm not sleeping, all right? But that's how it works with us stroke victims. And use guys and gals that have had strokes. You understand what I'm talking about. But this is all new to me. And my family physician, or the people that are working with me, are not giving me this information that I need to know, that I want to know why this is happening. But my speech therapist, she's answering my questions. She'll give me all the information that she can if she knows the right and correct answers. So that is my rant for today. Cheers in Ostrovia. And let's see, we're at 15 minutes now, so that's about it. Last night for dinner, I took out my the rest of my prime rib that I had, and I told you I did it on the grill. It had the 4 ribs, bone in, and I cooked it up. And my neighbor Tim told me, it says, Ralph, when you cut it, start on each end and go inward, but don't cut that inward part. Save that, because that'll be your rarest, obviously. All right. So we saved it, and then last night we only had maybe, I don't know, let's say that much, a good 1.5 inch, 2 steaks when it was cut. All right, and we sliced it, and the inside, it was pretty pink. And he says, what you want to do with that is, since it's refrigerated, obviously, get that, preheat your oven to maybe 425 degrees. Get some foil, he says, because you don't have leaves. And I'll tell you about the, the lettuce leaves. He said what he used to do in the restaurants was take lettuce leaves and take the prime rib and put it in between the 2 leaves, top and bottom, and right in the middle would be your prime rib. Because of the moisture, it would keep it nice and moist, but it would heat it up, make it edible. So I didn't have that. He says, what you want to do, take some foil. Take your prime rib, put it on your foil, wrap it up real nice, leave it where there's air in the center of it. Don't make it tight, wrap, and stick it in the oven for a few minutes. Sprinkle it with a little bit of water on the meat, and then foil it up, put it in there, and then pull it out and eat it. And, it was good. It was good. Yep. By the time I cooked it up or reheated it, it was no longer rare, but it still was pink and tender. And Sir Prince loved me. Okay, that's my babbling for today, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a great day today. As I always tell you, no matter how bad we think we have it, somebody else always has it worse. And don't forget that. Love your family and your kids. Every once in a while, send them a message. Your neighbors, your aunts, uncles. Let them know that you appreciate them and that you love them. Because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. All right? Help somebody out if you can today. Have a few kind words for your fellow human being. Take the time and enjoy the coffee. And as always, thanks for having me in your house or wherever you might be watching this. Thanks for letting me be part of your life. And thanks for being part of mine. Because without you guys, I don't need to be doing this. And this is keeping me going and active. And I want to buy a treadmill, okay? I want to get a used treadmill. So if any of you know of a used treadmill, let me know. Send me a private message. I might come down and pick it up, okay? I was told to get a treadmill, and I'll put it in front of my TV and watch whatever I'm watching and start doing some exercise. Until the weather breaks, and I'll start walking around outside. But that's it, folks. Have a great day today. I do love you. Honest to God, I do. And remember, you're awesome. Don't let anybody tell you any differently, all right? Always show your awesomeness. Be good to one another. Keep smiling. And I'm going to punch you out in 3. And I'll talk to you later on. And don't forget, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And hit that little bell. That way you'll be nudged every time I do a video. And it's just senseless, useless information for you. But it's your quiet time to get away from everybody else. And enjoy your coffee or your favorite adult beverage. Whatever it might be. All right. You're going out on me. On 3. Now smile. Okay? 1, 2. Here we go. Smile. Come on. Smile.